Hey, critics, and welcome back to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel where you get commentary reviews and tabloid news. I'm your host, Patricia Hartley. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Today, we're taking a critical review of Jenna and Sheinelle's February 24th episode. Now, this show actually began a little bit different than the other shows. Of course, we know that Jenna and Sheinelle typically make their runway exit out of the back in order to come up into the entrance. And when they don't come out like that, it's typically, or do the runway, it's typically a Friday and it's more of a relaxed day. Well, today the ladies were not at their big, large brown table. They were at the small glass table, which I honestly like that setup, the glass table, but it doesn't have the their names on the table, but still very classy. A little cozier table as well. You know, you can tell by the way the camera is angled. But I said all that to say it began a little bit different today, and this time the ladies were giving their love to their friend Savannah, and they provided an update that the family has upped the reward to $1 million. The ladies then each individually took time to just sort of talk about the light of hope that the family still has in spite of the continuous prayers, the fact that, yeah, y'all don't hear them talk about it every day, but it is something that's on their hearts and minds, and they speak about it, even if it's off camera every single day. They're also wearing those yellow ribbons in order to continue to show their love for their friend, but also the hope that Nancy Guthrie will return safely. As of the recording of this episode, Nancy Guthrie is still missing. Ellen and Jim Hughes are the parents of Jack Hughes, and they were both actually on the show. They recently, of course, if you don't know, Jack Hughes is the young man that actually recently competed in the U.S. Olympics, which specifically was the hockey team. He was the one who did the winning puck in the game for them to officially. It was like, I think it was the final puck in the game, right? They have more than one son, right? I told you about the fact that Jack had a brother that he talked about, the fact that saw himself like doing the winning puck and the night before and shared that with his brother Quinn. Well, of course, they both competed in the Olympics, but when you have two kids who are in the Olympics, you can't help but to ask the parents, right? How did that happen? Well, the parents, they didn't just talk about how they raised their kids. They specifically talked about how the hockey teams basically come together, yes, to compete, but it takes basically a village, and that there are so many people that pull together to help this great Olympics season or help out during this time. And of course, they got into the children. They talked about their son Jack losing his teeth, but still winning the gold. This ain't the first time he lost his teeth. So again, I think it was just, when you win the gold and lose the teeth, I think in hockey, it's a good thing. Especially when you win, right? Luckily, there are just some great dentists and talented dentists out there. Shout out to the dentists, okay? Ellen and Jim were both athletes, apparently, growing up when they were also in college as well. And they provided a very active and sort of athletic lifestyle for their sons. They basically coached them, not just through one sport, but several sports. They taught them how to ice skate as well. In terms of advice that they would give for raising young boys who love each other, teach them how to be basically great teammates and tell them to have fun, right? And remind them that they are siblings. Now, I don't think they said that part, but I would say, remind them that they're siblings and we are a family. Congrats again, though, to the women's and men's hockey team. Again, shout out to them for bringing home the gold. Guests on the show today included Matthew Morrison, mostly known for his role in Glee. He's back on Broadway in the musical Just in Time. Did you know it's been 10 years, he said, since he'd been on Broadway? He says it feels more like a homecoming with a lot more gratitude than ego. He is also on tour with his one-man show where he does part music and storytelling, and he lives it out with his band. So he has a band to help him out with his one-man show, and he says it's a little bit of it really is a half and half, that music and then also storytelling as well. Shout out to one-man shows and one-woman shows, right? In the far future, I definitely plan to have one of those myself, and I shall join the long list of superstars with a one-woman show. I also want to add that I'll just have a quick selfish moment like I do sometimes, right? There's always magic in the theater. However, there's a different magic about being away from the stage for a while and then coming back. Yeah, so congratulations, Matthew, and break a leg while you're there on not only Broadway, but doing your one-man show. Hmm. Up next, the topic moved on to IVF, where couples and individuals are sharing their journey in the community. They talk choosing to openly share their journeys in hopes of building, yes, that community and spreading hope for others facing infertility. While guest Katie Sands did have success with her journey, Nova and Remo are still in the process of their IVF journey, and they speak about it while they are on the show. Either way, for them, whether they've had success or not, it sounds like joining the community gave them hope and also just sort of allowed them to connect with other people, that know that they are basically not alone. Other people, and it helped them to know that they are not alone either. And while the women have a community, so do the men. Remo Styles talks about how basically infertility also affects the male and how he's used the community to bring them together as a collective. So congratulations to them on that. Later on in the show, they're joined by a professional and best-selling author of The Lucky Egg, Dr. Lucky Sekhon, who answers questions basically about practical tips. Well, she answers questions and she provides some practical tips regarding infertility. She also talks getting ahead of it now and just sort of going to an OBGYN to get yourself checked out. And also, the younger you are, freezing your eggs or embryos are options as well. So yeah, of course, I'm going to be linking the show down in the show notes, so be sure to check it out. And then finally, the ladies gave us a watch list with Elana Nicolaou. I believe I'm saying the last name right, who was there to talk style, who was actually there to sort of talk about what you can see on TV and what you can watch. Style is just on my mind. Now, I'm not going to overly talk about style today just because of I would say the temperature of the show in a sense, right? But I will admit that I am so glad that the ladies do not mind repeating outfits. Scream 7 is out in theaters this weekend. They on 7 already? Oh my gosh, right? Another show that they put on the watch list was called Space Cowboy. It's a documentary. It looks very interesting, actually. What I seen was not only Jenna skydiving outside of a plane. I think they just want us to know that Jenna skydived, but Space Cowboy is essentially skydiving, but you're skydiving as if you're doing stuff that look like you should be doing it on the ground, right? So there's just some real cool things that goes on, it seems like, in that documentary, and it's an incredible story according to the ladies doing stuff in the sky. Paradise season 2 is on Hulu. Also Scrubs, shout out to that show. And no, I don't want no Scrubs. Candy, you right. I can't help but to sing that song. From me, like out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. Okay. Then also The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins, which we all know that we had Tracy Morgan that was on the Jenna and Sheinelle show earlier this week, and he was talking about that. I want to just say a side note and tell Tracy, I'm sure that if you sent the ladies chains in the mail, I bet they would still accept them. I bet that's my vote. I bet they would still accept them. Send it to them and see. Send it to them and see. Overall, good show, ladies. Friendly reminder that Sheinelle has a book called Through Mom's Eyes. In this book, Sheinelle interviews celebrities' mothers about raising successful kids. She said that she also had an ulterior motive for this. She wanted to bring all wisdom to bear on raising her 3 children. The book is set to release on April the 14th, and I've already placed it on hold via Libby, a free streaming platform made possible through our local library. And Jenna also has a book club that's also on Libby as well. As a reminder, here at the Critic Chronicles, our goal is to provide quality but juicy content from websites, digital magazines, and tabloids, most of which are sourced from our public libraries. Research from the National Library of Medicine show that there are an estimated 17,000 public libraries nationwide, totaling 4 million visits each day. Public libraries are civic organizations that are committed to providing invaluable resources beyond books that are free and open to the public. Get your library card to access thousands of resources today. For access to the full episode of Today with Jenna and Sheinelle, check out the show notes in the description box. And we are hosting Blogmas in honor of Black History Month, and we'll release a video every day in the month of February 2026. We are also using this as a kickoff to 1,000 subscribers. So tell a critic of a critic to subscribe, okay? Also, be sure to subscribe to our backup channel, Hey Critics, also linked in the show notes. Thanks again for tuning in to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel, where you get commentary, reviews, and tabloid news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload.